Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is just my spoiler-free review of Spiral. I saw it in theaters a few days ago. Took me a little time to make this video. I hope you enjoy, and yeah, thanks. Rating at the end. I think this is probably one of the better horror movies I've seen. I do like these movies, all of the Saw movies anyway, so I'll probably be a little bit more biased towards them. But I would say this one, like in relation to what we've gotten recently, like Jigsaw, and if you want to go back however many years that is now, like Saw 7, compared to those movies, this movie is a cinematic masterpiece, but it does still have its own like issues. The first hour of this movie is extremely enjoyable. I like that it's only the hour and 33 minutes that it is. It kind of leaves it to be more action-packed. I guess originally when I said that this would be action-packed, like, I think I meant more, this is very cop-focused. The traps take very minimal time from the actual movie itself. I'd say the traps are probably like 5 minutes of this whole movie, and it really makes the movie more enjoyable because, at least in that regard, it's something different, because we went from having Hoffman turn into a machine, basically, to, at least this movie felt more grounded. I think it felt a little bit more relatable. Obviously not relatable, but like in the sense that I think this could possibly happen to somebody. It's just turned up to 11, in other words. No real like slowdown, I guess I would say, in this movie. It's mostly just an hour and 33 minutes of overacting, but that's besides the point. I think if you go into this with no expectations, I know that sounds weird because usually that means the movie is bad, it's better. I don't know, like, because I think after 2 years of build-up, at least for me, it was a little bit disappointing the first time I saw it, because I've seen this movie twice. I saw it. My initial viewing of this movie I had it at like a 3 out of 10, and I understand why IGN had it at a 3 out of 10 at that time. And then I saw it again and kind of took it for what it was, and my review of it, or my enjoyment of it, went up. It's not without its flaws. I think the ending is as big as just a big sequel bait. My opinion's changed on this. I think this ending's a sequel bait, but I think more looking at it now with a few more days of hindsight, I think this ending is fine. I think it still docks points, but I'm not the first time I saw the ending I was pissed, kind of, and now I'm just kind of like, yeah, they're getting ready for another sequel. My expectations were way too high. That is my own fault. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think you'll see at the end of the video my final score of this, and I think you'll be surprised. I'm no IGN is pretty much what I'm getting at. I don't think these movies are necessarily like God's gift to the earth. But yeah, I think there was a few things in this movie as well that, like, the twist, like the big twist they go with, is not very good. Not like in the sense that it's not well done, but you kind of see it coming. So in my original video I was kind of trying to say that these movies kind of become predictable. They have their cop plot and then they have their trap plot, and this movie basically goes more cop and less trap, but like still using the Saw formula of the whodunit and who's the killer. It's just switched. Like, the traps aren't the main focus of the movie anymore, and they're focusing heavily on Chris Rock's, portion of the movie and the detectives and stuff like that. So it's very predictable. It's like basically having this same thing happen, but with just different events taking place. And once you kind of get that down, I'd say this movie, it kind of lost it with me on my first viewing, because I kind of saw it coming and it kind of ruined it for me after like some build up and hype. But then, like, once I saw it the second time, I just took it for a movie and what it was. I had a good time and enjoyed it. I think if I was to give it a final verdict, I think it went from like a 3. So my rating would go to a 5. I'd say this is a very average film. I'd say the first hour is extremely good. I have no problem with the first hour. It's really just the last 30 minutes turning into another predictable Saw movie. This is like one of those few average films, like if you're a huge Saw fan, I bet you they can do some good sequel with this if they take the right steps. But I wouldn't be disappointed if I saw this movie, which I did, obviously, but like if you went out and you spent whatever it is for a ticket, $13, I wouldn't be disappointed with this. I'd be a little maybe frustrated, but I think after like 30 minutes I was fine with it, so I think that's more just fan hype than anything. But yeah, I enjoyed what was presented and it was a pretty solid movie. I do say before I stop, I do think that this movie can get a higher rating if the second one is good, but if the second one goes for another sequel bait, I think 10 films in, I'll be done. I think this is kind of me at my end of my rope with whatever the franchise is, and I think this is a good entry. I don't think you should do more than one more. Yeah, so I think my final verdict will be a 5 out of 10. I think if you're a Saw fan, you should jump on this. I think this is a decent enough movie, like entry, if you're into the concept of Saw. And I'd say thanks for watching and tuning into this mediocre video at best, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.